Hi. So y'all, I've been reflecting and I was thinking about all of the things that I didn't know in my 20s and feeling regret, feeling shame, feeling guilt about it. But I decided to take that shame, that regret, and that guilt and turn it into something positive that I can give y'all so that we know not to do those things ever again, or we know to do more of those things. And I want to talk about them today. And I might have to do a part 2 to this because there's so many things that I wrote down and that I want to share with y'all, but I'm only going to share just a few today. So let me know if y'all want a part 2 in the comments by the end of this video. Who wants to wake up when they're 65 and be like, I should have did this, or I shouldn't have done that, or I should have did more of that, or I should have taken more trips, I should have taken more breaks, I should have rested more, I should have worked out more, I should have prayed more, I should have spent time with my friends more, I should have called my mom more, you know? So it's like, you don't want to wake up with those regrets and wallow in that regret. But that brings me to my very first thing, is how you react means everything. How you react is golden, or it can be something that will be a stain on your life. A bad moment is not a bad life. So controlling your emotions is the only thing that you can control. And if you can learn how to control your emotions, you can learn how to control your life. And know that that's the only thing that you can control. Any outcome, any situation, any person, you cannot control them. You cannot fix people. If people are ready for you, they will be ready for you. If they're not, you have to move on. You can't fix everything. And you definitely can't control outcomes. There's so many things that are going on behind closed doors that you don't know about. Everything that feels like a rejection, that seems like it just didn't work out, is divine redirection. It's divine protection for you. God is looking out for you. God heard the things that you didn't hear. God knows the things that you don't know. So sitting here, not being able to control your emotions, getting upset when things don't turn out your way is a little bit childish, okay? And I'm gonna be the first to tell you. And the quicker we can learn how to control our emotions and realize that a bad moment does not equal a bad life, the quicker you'll be able to develop that emotional maturity and emotional intelligence that you're gonna need to carry on with you. Wisdom and maturity does not come with age. It comes with experience. It comes with developing yourself. It comes with self-reflection. It comes with holding yourself accountable. So if you can't hold yourself accountable and you think, woe is me, this happened to me, why didn't I get it? Why isn't this happening? You're still not mature. You're still a little bit emotionally unintelligent. If you focus on the outcome, you're actually putting the outcome before you. You have to prioritize yourself, prioritize your mental health, prioritize the things that matter the most, which is you. So control your emotions, control you, but never try to control a person or an outcome or a situation. There's things that are happening constantly that you don't know about. And if it's not meant to be, it's just simply not meant to be. If it didn't happen, it's just not going to happen. And you have to find a way to be okay with that. And whatever is meant for you, as long as you're putting in the work, as long as you're holding yourself accountable, as long as you're co-creating with God or whatever it is that you believe in, honey, then it will happen. But there are things that can pass you by, okay? Especially if you're not doing the work, especially if you're not actively going out here trying to figure out what it is that is for you, because faith without work is dead. So you can have all the faith in the world, but if you're not putting in the work behind it, you're not going to get anything, okay? So that was probably a couple of lessons that I learned. That's all bunched in one big lesson that I'm giving to you all. Matter of fact, go ahead and get your little baggies because I'm about to be dropping some more gems in there, okay? So another thing that I wanted to talk about is to stop blaming yourself for everything. Don't blame yourself. Do take accountability when there is accountability to be taken, but don't blame yourself for how things turn out. Don't blame yourself for how you reacted. Yeah, you may have reacted this way and it wasn't the best way, but when you stop blaming yourself and you can hold yourself accountable, that's when you know you're healing, and that's when you know you're developing your emotional intelligence. That's how you know you're growing. Mistakes facilitate growth, and that's all you need to be able to control your emotions and control yourself and be able to take accountability when that needs to be taken. But blaming yourself for the things that you didn't do and blaming yourself for the things that you may have done that didn't end well does not help you. It only keeps you stuck. So in order to avoid making those constant mistakes, always take your time with getting to know who you are. I think that so many times we rush into things, and that's how we end up in these pickles, and we make these mistakes that we have to try to wiggle our way out of. But when you take your time and you really take the time to get to know people at their core, when you take the time to really get to know yourself at the core, you'll know what aligns, you'll know what you value, you'll know if any of those things that you're pursuing is for you, because you've taken your time to get to know yourself. You've taken the time to know what it is that you want, and there's nothing that no one can tell you, because you know for yourself that this is what you want. So taking your time so that you don't have to go back through and feel that guilt and that shame for making the mistake. But at the end of the day, all roads point to north, and y'all know I always say that. You're going to get to where you're supposed to be, whether you made the mistake or not. There's always an easier way. There's always a loophole to get past the longer way to get to the path that's going forward. Sometimes we do take that left when we were supposed to take that right. But if you know your way around, you'll always get back on the same road that you're supposed to be on. So don't beat yourself up. Don't blame yourself for the things that you did do. Just forgive yourself. Just know that you're human, and this is what your soul needed to evolve. This is what your soul needed for your growth. And that's just all it is. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to feel guilty about. It's nothing to resent yourself about. It's just all about life. It's just this game of life that we all are playing, and that we all don't know what we're doing. But because I know a little bit of something, I figured I might share it with y'all. You know, like, I don't know everything. I don't pretend to know everything. And I definitely didn't know anything 10 years ago. But because I didn't know anything and I took the time to learn things, and I made all of those mistakes, I get to tell you guys about all the mistakes that I made and how I learned from them, and how I moved through those mistakes, and how I'm back on the right path. And it's just a beautiful thing to witness. Although there was so much chaos and turmoil on those streets of mistakes, I learned so much about myself throughout those mistakes. You know, when I was on Mistake Avenue, I was taking my time sorting through those mistakes so that I could get back on the right path. And that's all that matters. You are going to get there as long as you do the work. You're not your mistakes, my love. I promise. One thing that I wish I had learned sooner was what peace looked like to me. I was constantly stuck in cycles of chaos because I didn't know what peace looked like. I didn't know what peace felt like. I didn't know how to even achieve this level of peace. Thank God I'm here. But for years and years and years, I was living in a state of disruption, of chaos, of just, I don't know, just inner turmoil within me. But once I learned what peace meant to me and how to get back to just feeling that peace, just learning how to focus on me, learning how to prioritize me, that was the best decision I ever did. I decentered everything that didn't serve me, and I honed in on me, focused on me, and figured out what it was for me that I needed, and not what no one else needed. Quit all those people-pleasing ways and just learned what I needed. How I find peace is through journaling, through meditating, through singing, because, you know, I like to sing a little bit, and through prayer. through grounding exercises, going to the gym, doing these videos. This is how I found peace, because honestly, the reason why I even wanted to create this video is because I was feeling some inner turmoil. I was feeling very anxious about this next level in my life that I'm preparing myself for. And I was in my head about it a lot, and it was making me spiral because I felt like I wasn't in control of the outcome. And I'm still not in control of the outcome, but because I was spiraling and in my head, I was like, okay, what can I do at 10:30 at night that will make me feel better? And I was like, well, I haven't created a video. Let me get on here and just talk, my virtual diary, just talking to y'all, just giving y'all gems and giving myself gems along with it. Because like I said, I don't know everything, but because I do know a little something, I know a little bit of I have a little bit of a foundation. I know how to get back to a peaceful state. And now I can enjoy the rest of my night because I feel a whole lot better because I'm just talking to y'all and I'm doing something that I love to do, and I'm taking my focus off of my future and focusing on the present and just being present. These videos help keep me present. That is peace, being present. When you're too far in the past and you're too far in the future, you're either going to get depressed or you're going to have anxiety. And I don't want to have anxiety thinking about my future. I don't want to be depressed thinking about my past and all of the things that I regretted in my 20s. And so while I was sitting there just racking my brain, trying, and for some reason, it's like my brain was trying to protect me from not being present. So I'm worrying about my future. But then when I got tired of worrying about my future, I started going back into the past and getting depressed about all of the things that I didn't know, all of the things that I didn't do, all of the mistakes that I made, taking Mistake Avenue instead of taking the right avenue, But like I said, all roads point to the north. There's nothing right or wrong that I could have done. It was just all for evolution. But while I was sitting there, I was like, instead of sitting here in this regret and this shame and this guilt that I feel for how my life went or didn't go, I can get on here and create a video and try to help other people not feel the way that I feel. So that's just kind of like how I deal with things when I am spiraling, because I'm human. And even though I am on here talking about things that help other people, that doesn't mean that I don't need help too. But that's how I help myself when there's not anyone there to help me. So no one there physically anyway, because I always have God. I always pray and ask God to help me. And these are some of the things that he's given me to help me cope and help me navigate all of the things that I go through on a daily basis, because I'm in a little bit of a rough patch, but we're getting through it. And I'm still creating, I'm still living, I'm still loving, and I'm trying my best to be present. If you need to build confidence, do the small thing first. If you need to build discipline, do the hard thing first. So if you need to build confidence, I say do the small thing first, because if it's something that you already know how to do, it'll be easy for you to accomplish, and it'll be easier for you to build that confidence within yourself. If you go to the gym and you say, oh, I'm going to squat 225, and you've never squatted even 5 pounds, you've never even squatted body weight before, you're going to go and you're going to fail, and you're not going to build that confidence that you need. But if you already have confidence and you need to build discipline, and the gym is the hardest thing for you to do, go ahead and do that first thing in the morning so you can get that done. The first part of your day, that's what you need to get done. Or that's how you build the discipline. And then you can start wiggling around like, okay, now I know I'm a afternoon gymmer, so I'll go in the afternoon now, like this is what I know I'm going to do in the afternoon. This is what I know I have to do or I want to do as a part of my day, because you've already built that discipline. You've already built that strength that you needed to keep going. So don't start with the gym. Start with the confidence if that's what you need. If you need the discipline and you already have the confidence, start with the gym and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And also, if you need the discipline, I wouldn't even say start at the gym. I would say start with home workouts, because that's what I like to, well, that's what I used to do before I committed to the gym full time. But I still do my home workouts. I do all of my HIIT workouts in my living room. And that's something that I still love to do. So first thing in the morning when I would get up before I went to work, I would do my HIIT exercise right in the middle of my living room in my old apartment. And that's how I built the discipline. When I wanted to build confidence in myself, I started with making my bed every day. I know that that's something that I can do that makes me feel good about myself. So that's what I'm going to do. Starting my day with meditation, starting my day with prayer, something that I know I can do to build that confidence within myself. And so that's how I built confidence. And it sounds simple, but it takes a while. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to build discipline in a night. You're not going to build discipline at the gym in a week. You're not going to build confidence making your bed every morning in 2 days. Like, it's going to take work. It's going to take time. So give yourself that time. Take your time with your life, because your timeline is your timeline. So don't let anybody else and what they're doing stray you and make you feel like you're not doing enough, or you need to be more disciplined, or whatever it is that influencers or whoever makes you think about yourself, because it's not true. You're on your own timeline, just like they're on their timeline. So the last thing that I want to talk about before we go is to spend time alone. Get to know yourself, understand your boundaries, and implement them for yourself so that you know how to implement them with anybody else, so that you even know what your boundaries are. Because we always say, oh, set boundaries, but we don't have boundaries with ourselves. If you don't have those boundaries within yourself, you're not going to know how to implement boundaries with anybody else, because you've never implemented boundaries with anybody, not even yourself. So before you go screaming, have boundaries, know your boundaries. You don't even have boundaries within yourself. Do you have boundaries within yourself? That's the question you need to be asking yourself. Am I aligning with my own values? Am I around people who align with my values? Am I aligned with people who understand and accept my boundaries? Because if not, time to realign, time to readjust and recenter, and figure out how you can get aligned with those people that will respect your boundaries and will accept your truth and will align with your values. So that's why I say, spend that time alone. Take that time to yourself, to get to know yourself, to love yourself deeply, so deeply that there's not going to be anybody in your life or anybody that you come into contact with that will be able to steer you away from that. And it also helps you build self-awareness, so that when you are in these situations, you know how to maneuver. You're like, okay, yeah, this is me. I'm acting that way. Let me shift myself, because it's not always the other person. Sometimes it's you, and that's okay. You have to forgive yourself. And that's how all of these things tie in. Go back to the beginning of the video and get some more of those gems that I dropped, because I'm telling you, all of this is going to help you be the best version of yourself. It's going to help you grow. It's going to help you get to that next level that you've been praying for. You can't get there unless you have the mindset. You have to get right within. As within, so without. If you're not right within, your outside, your outer reality is not going to match up. And that's just the truth. And it's a hard truth, but it is the truth. So I am going to go ahead and end the video here. I pray that you guys received this message well, and I pray that you received all of the wisdom and all of these vibes, okay? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with somebody who might need it, a younger person or an older person who might need to hear this word, okay? And also, don't forget to comment. I knew I was forgetting something. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.